GSL Season 1.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Do apologize. Apparently, it looks like the audio wasn't actually working for the for the intros earlier. So, thankfully, that has since been fixed, and we'll try to make sure that's fixed for future matches. But welcome back, everyone. Of course, to our 2026 GSL Season 1 playoffs. The final day here of GSL Season 1. We just wrapped up with the upper semifinals, and now we're going to be live with the lower semis. We just wrapped up with Hero versus Cure in their TVP, and now we have our next matchup here. It's going to be a Terran versus Zerg matchup instead. Maru versus SHIN. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now, I imagine we're going to be seeing some interviews with the two players here on the stage. We did so for Hero versus Cure, so we should be seeing it again here for both SHIN and for Maru as well. I'm curious to hear what Solar has to say and has to ask SHIN when it comes to the upcoming match here, but it's going to be a banger of a best of 5. Now, Maru is coming in as the heavy favorite. The top two players in Korea are Hero and Maru. They are the top two players in Korea, and some of the best players in the world, of course. But SHIN has been popping off. He's been popping off as of late, and he has a unique style to TvZ that he's been showcasing, more so than last year. Last year, of course, SHIN did pioneer his TvZ in regards to the Roach heavy style, Roach heavy opener in towards Infestors, in towards Ultras. But in recent months, we've been seeing a different style out of SHIN, going for a very heavy lair tech play, early lair into varying different openers. Likewise, proxy hatcheries as well. So basically, SHIN has been focusing and fixating on the early game, making himself very, very unpredictable and taking advantage of players that otherwise don't know what he's up to. He can go into 2-base Lair, 2-base Muta, 2-base Hydra, 2-base Roach all-ins, Roach safety play into the mid game. He has a lot of variations to mix things up. For now, though, we have our interview.
Hi, SHIN. You did really on qualifiers and on the round of 8 as well. So how do you feel about it?
근데 진짜 가뿐하게 올라오긴 했고요. 그래가지고
Yeah, it was kind of easy, you know.
그러니까 제 생각보다
Oh, right.
올라와서
Well, it was easier than I expected. So
Oh, it was easy. True.
yeah, it was easy indeed. But right next to you, the opponent right next to you is a mountain. Like, what do you think about it?
근데 저는 좋게 생각하고 있습니다.
Well,
왜냐면은
I feel
선수가
good at,
한다는 거는
I mean, playing against Maru is that the evidence that I'm doing really great. So yeah, so Solar, you're the same age. So any words? Well, you know, like SHIN. Well, why are you laughing? Well, I want you to laugh after the game as well. So how was the preparations? Are you ready?
준비를 굉장히 많이 했는데
Well, I did a lot of preparations myself.
했는데
Uh,
하다 보니까
I think this is the most prepared matchup I have
이게 맞나 이런 생각이 들어서
ever.
Yeah. I would agree.
그러니까
But I don't really feel right because I think I overdid.
있는 것 같더라고요.
So I'm thinking that like I'm missing something here.
제대로 다
So I'll just try to integrate everything. So yeah. Well, if you try so hard to be perfect, then you kind of like make a mistake. So I understand the pain. So Maru, it's been a really long time. I mean, personally, in 2010, you were the youngest player competing, and now they're saying that the history of Maru is the history of GSL. What do you feel? How can you explain that? Well, I competed in the open season, from the open season to here, so yeah, I'm still doing great, so that's relieving. Yeah, Ryung, any questions? Well, Maru, you have a lot of you have very good win rate against SHIN, so you don't really get to prepare a lot against him. So how do you prepare your mindset against him? Well, You know, my mindset actually, I can actually lose against him at any time. So, yeah, I was trying to not hold back. Well, oh, you're trying to, you're procrastinating him. Like, you're giving too much credit. Like, isn't that a strategy? Well, I mean, he's doing great, so it is a fact. So now we're gonna see the predictions of the viewers.
Oh.
It was 78 versus 22.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like Maru isn't really confident against Shin, like he says, but the predictions are saying otherwise. What do you think? Well, I think it's because of the matchup record, like matchup history. But today, I don't know. You're smiling. Well, you're Shin, and you're only 20%. Isn't that offensive to you?
이제 아무래도 상대 정적이 너무 차이가 나다 보니까
Yeah, the track record gives me
더
I mean,
많이 평주를 고를 거라고 생각했는데
that predictions that like, they're gonna like. I think more viewers would have picked Maru, so I think the predictions would have been like lean towards Maru. But actually, the numbers are more in favor of me, so I think yeah, that's a relief for me. So I'm gonna be more fun. So any last words?
GSL이 사실 저는 이제는 더 이상 안 할 거라고 생각을 해서
Well, personally, didn't really think that GSL would continue, but
일단 숲에 너무 감사하고
I'm really grateful for Soup for holding this league again this year, and I think it's all because of the fans.
이 자리에
So
있을
I'm really
거라고는
feeling
생각을
really grateful,
안 하고
and
있는데
I didn't really
질문을 할수 있다는
realize that I
너무
would
감사하게
come to this
듣고
stage,
있기 때문에
honestly. But
좋은 모습
that being said, I'm thankful for all the fans have cheered and support for us. So I think that's why I'm here. So yeah, I'm really grateful for it. I'll do my best. And any last words, Maru, the living legend? Yeah, a lot of people came here, and I'm really feeling good that I can perform in this crowd. And it's coming offline in a long time. I'll do my best and show really fun games. Yeah, round of applause for both players, and good luck and good games for both.
Okay, shout out to Maddox, by the way. Shout out to Maddox for the translations between here Shin and Maru. Whew, oh boy, just touching on what they mentioned as well, by the way. Shin talking about how, like, he feels really good coming into it to the point where he's scared that maybe, like, he missed something, in the sense that he feels too good considering the opponent he's playing against. So, this can't be real. Like, it can't be that easy. This goes into what we mentioned previously, how Shin has been very dynamic in his ZVT specifically. I would say the most dynamic player in ZVT right now is Shin, specifically for this matchup. And I'm sure that Maru knows this. Everyone knows this. Everyone who's been watching StarCraft over the past couple of months knows that Shin has been very cheeky, very tricky in ZVT, and that's why Maru said at any time I can die. Like, he said at any time I can just lose against Shin, and I would agree with that. Like, I know that the fan perspective, and Maru's the favorite player 100%, but specifically in modern StarCraft, specifically over the past like 3 months, like, Shin has been very intense and very chaotic in this matchup, and he's a very hard player to read. He's very, very hard to read here, so I'm excited for a back and forth. That's what I want, at least. I want a back and forth. I want a more competitive series between these two players. That's what I want out of these two, but the pressure is on. Meanwhile, here's a quote. Please give GSL a little support and funding. We want to have another season. Yo, shout out to Shin, of course, giving a shout out to GSL. Likewise, if you're out there, if you want to help support GSL, you can do so via Patreon. !GSL in the chat. Or, again, patreon.com/GSL to support the GSL to help fund the next season of the Global StarCraft League. Do help him out, Pappy. Help him out. For Season 3. We have our recent results as well, with Shin being down 2-1 and beating Beyond 2-1 as well, and of course being seeded through the round of 12. Let's go. He's been the run-up once at this point. And now we're gearing up for potentially an even greater run here for Shin. Can he get there, Pat? Can he get there? So it's casting? Yes. Solar and Ryung. They're Team Tuna. They're Team Tuna in the pink shirts. Meanwhile, here we have Maru. Maru, of course, with his likewise showcased in the round of 8, did fall to Cure, but did defeat Rogan Classic in the previous round of 8. Here we have, of course, 8-time champion, 4-time runner-up, and his quote here: "If I go finals, I'll have a big smile." Smiley face. Lovely. God damn it, Maru. Do you want to take away his smile? Do you? Shin? Animal. As again, we're getting ready here for that best of 5. Videos will soon be showcased, and I'm sure this time we'll have the correct videos on the screen. I'm curious to see what kind of maps we go into. I would think that smaller maps will be favoring Maru, larger maps typically favor Zerg, but because of Shin's diverse play and because of his kind of like malleability in ZVT, I mean, he can be very unpredictable. We'll get into it. We'll see. For now, we have our vetoes. Okay, so Shin gets rid of 10,000 feet and White Rabbit. Interesting vetoes, by the way. Meanwhile, Maru gets rid of Celestial Enclave and Tactile Sigil. So Maru's vetoes make more sense. They're larger maps, so he gets rid of them, gets rid of some of the larger maps, gets rid of some of the more open maps out there. Shin has gotten rid of 10,000 feet, which favors hyper-aggressive play in the early game. And White Rabbit, which is an interesting one, which is a larger map, but again, the bases are very spread out. It can be very difficult to defend your fringe bases as a Zerg player on White Rabbit. So game 1, we have Ruby Rock. At game 2, Old Republic, followed by Tourmaline, Mothership, and Winter Madness. Interesting. The first 3 games do favor aggressive builds, and I'm sure we'll get into plenty of aggression. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player from South Korea. Representing on side, it is Maru. Let's go. Let us go. We are jumping into our fresh best of 5 semifinals match, and eyes are on Shin here when it comes to the openers. So far as opening up hatch first, Shin is not afraid to go into proxy hazard across the map, and y'all, it's Shin time. We got some Shin banners in the crowd. Let's go. Let's go. Hashtag on side. Ah, beautiful. Great to see. Great to see supporters in chat. Oh, as we go. Wait, hold on. We're opening up 2x Reaper on the high ground. That is bold. That's crazy. But okay, there's a lot going on here. So I like this from Maru. Typically 2x Reaper as Maru break his shins. Calm down, papi, calm down. Oh my god. He's crazy. Now typically 2x Reaper is done on the low ground, so you can wall off quickly and expand behind it, but the downside of going 2x Reaper on the low ground means your production is exposed and you're vulnerable to roach all-ins, because typically your Raxes are on the low ground, your add-ons are on the low ground, your factories on the low ground for the add-on swap as well. Everything's on the low ground, and because roach all-ins often break the natural quite easily, then you break your production, then they can end the game. Here 2x Reaper in the main base is very uncommon because it will delay and it will mean that the natural base is going to be more exposed, but it also means that Maru is going to be safer against a roach all-in counterattack. So I do like this here out of Maru. Likewise, also harder to scout. Shin does move in with the Overlord. He sees nothing on the low ground. Little does Shin know that it is 2x Reaper. So Reapers are flooding across the map. Shin, he pulls out of gas. He pulls out of gas. That means late link speed for Shin. Very nice mind game out of Maru. Very, very nice. As Reapers, they move in, link speed is going to be delayed. Shin, he claims his third, and now Maru has access, has potential to deal damage. Pokes in so far, dancing with the Zerglings. The second Reaper is on the way. It's being rallied as we speak, and again, Shin has no idea. Shin, he has no idea. So far, Shin, nice control. Does pull back his Lings. Queen does zone away. Second Reaper has arrived. It's going to be up to Shin to minimize the losses. We have 6 more Lings in production. Ooh, that's a big wave of Lings on the way for Shin. But again, he has to hold on. He does have to. As we have more Reapers arriving. Getting up to 4 Reapers. Nice positioning with Lings. Oh! Ooh, he barely does not get the Reaper. Maru pulls away. Maru, he backs off. He pulls away. Still chipping away at the expansion itself. Third TC on the way for Maru. Third TC. And Maru's transitioning into his factory. So far, these Reapers, ideally, they want some more damage. She's going for the Queen. Oh, gets a tumor. Does settle for the tumor. Dancing with the Queens. Threatening a dive into the mineral line. Shin does pull away, and Shin will lose. Oh, nothing yet. Drones are kept alive. Lings are in position in the main base. Ling speed is almost done. And from here, Maru, he'll back off. He will back off. Now, remember, Shin, he's aware that there is no production on the low round, so the likelihood of going into like a big counter all-in is not really there. Shin, he's already pulled out of gas. He will gain link speed. He will gain map control, but Shin will drone behind this. We're joining, we're saturating. Maru going for his own 3 CC 2-on-1 into heavy bio play. Reapers, they get caught out. But they get surrounded. Very nice catch. Whew. As not a single Reaper will escape. Lings, they move to low ground. They're denying mining here, and the Hellions are not out yet. Oh no! Yeah, Hellions are not out. Mining is denied. Hellions will shut this down. But nice counter damage here by Shin. Nice damage catching out the Reapers. Behind this, Shin, he has a lot of droning to do. He's running up as hard as he can. And we have our 2-1-1 setup here. We have Stim on the way and a Banshee play. Ooh, okay. So what's happening here is something that Maru is very fond of. But going into Banshee is something that Maru and Beyond popularized as of late, as the Hellion is exposed. Does he get in? No, he gets around. Yeah, he does get in. One Hellion will fall, at least one. Oh, I spoke too soon. Never mind. Does get picked off a couple of SCVs, but nice positioning here with the Hellions. Maru holds. Maru does hold. Now, again, when it comes to the Banshee follow-up, usually 2-on-1s skip Banshees. Why is that? Well, because a 2-on-1 means 2 axes, 1 factory, 1 starport. You're prioritizing Stim. You're prioritizing Stim, and typically you're prioritizing Marine production as well to be able to hit with that Stim timing. And to support that, you need medevacs, and you go for reactor and medevac production. It is very uncommon to go into Banshees because this means that the Stim timing is going to be late because your medevacs are delayed. That is why this build can work, because technically the correct thing to do is to go reactor and medevac. To go into Banshee play means that the Stim timing is weakened, but it also means that your opponent is not going to be ready for this, right? There's a very low chance that Shin is ready for this. Now, Lings, when they slipped into the bases, I spotted. Yeah, he does spot the Banshee. The spores are on the way as well. Shin is fine. I was going to say that when the Lings got into the main base, when they attempted to surround the Hellion, I believe they saw the tech lab there. I believe they saw the tech lab on the starport. Ooh, that's a kill. Oh my god, that should not have happened. That's a kill on the Banshee. The Banshee gets 1 drone kill, and that is it. That is not worth it. We have a Raven follow up with the Hellions, which is a cheeky move here. With this, we can deny creep without spending any energy on scans. So, very cheeky play, but once again, Banshee into Raven means delayed medevacs, right? Medevacs are delayed. Stim is already done, and we're not hitting the Stim timing. We're not hitting that timing. Again, Maru's trying to be a little bit more flexible himself with his own play. Poking in, pulling back, going for a later bio timing instead. And trying to gain map control with these Hellions. So far, so good. Behind this, Roach heavy play to Shin. If you remember, we kept talking about this, how Shin has been very fond of Roach play in ZVT. Very fond of it. It's his go-to. +1 carry base into Roaches. Now from here, Shin has a choice to make. Does he go for an all-in, or does he get a 4th base and drone up his 4th? For now, Roaches are amassing. Maru, he's pushing out, so Stim is now done. No armory, so no Hellbats, but he's getting over the Queens. Roaches are popping out just in time. It's still close though. Yeah, still very close. Lings, they attempt to catch reinforcements. They fail to do so. Mineral line is somewhat exposed, and the base is going to go down. Yeah, the hatchery is so low. No transfuse. The hatchery falls. Massive pickoff. At the same time, Lings, they keep moving in. They catch SCVs. Yeah, they catch a handful of SCVs here. That's going to be 4 SCVs going down. Denying mining. Ideally forcing a lift. Ideally. Oh, as the Queen gets focused down. Nice target firing there to Maru. That's a kill! No, he didn't lift! No! He lost the CC! No! I was about to bring that up. I was about to joke that, like, yo, is Maru gonna forget to lift the CC? When we saw the Lings focus fire and Maru was focusing across the map against the Queen. But Maru, he was inattentive. He was inattentive. He was focus firing the Queen. He was hyper attentive to his army. And he did slip his defense back at home. He slipped up in the defense. With that, Shin may have lost a hatchery, but Maru lost his CC. That's a bigger blow for the Terran. And Shin's all over this. Shin, he's all over Maru. Catching out the Marines, zoning back the drop. Lings, they move in. They shouldn't get much done. But again, Maru is hurting. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Maru with the long distance mining. Maru, he needs time to recover. Now, Shin, does he go for the 1-2 punch, right? Shin, he knows that he's ahead. And as you can see on the production tab, Shin is cutting works at 71. That is under 4 base saturation. That's 3.5 base saturation. Lings are amassing. Roaches are amassing. 1-2 upgrades are on the way. No Baneliness either. It's going to be purely Ling Roach Ravager. Ling Roach Ravager here out of SHIN, and soon he will commit across the map, and the goal should be to break the third. Remember what we said at the start of the game, at the start of the series. What does Ruby Rock favor? Ruby Rock favors aggression. This third base specifically is very open. It's a very open third expansion here, and a short rush distance by ground. All ins are favored, and SHIN should be pulling the trigger soon. He should soon pull the trigger. You can see that SHIN is not droning, even though he has a fourth. He could drone up his fourth if he wanted to, but no, he's choosing not to. We're doubling down. Likewise, no infestation bit, no Bailey Nest. We need more Ravagers though. Yeah, we still need a handful more Ravagers. And we'll see if he can break this position. He's coming in from 2 angles. There's 3 tanks. Sorry, there's 4. There's 5. Yeah, there's 5 tanks. One of them gets caught on siege. So yeah, 1, 2 tanks going down. The Ravagers are exposed. They pull back, but the tanks are going down behind this. The tanks. He gets 3. He gets 4. 4 tanks go down. There's 1 tank left on the high ground, and now it's pure marine. It's pure bio here, and Maru's being broken. Maru's being broken. Maru, he'll lose all the workers. 19 SCVs going down. The boys are pulled into the roaches. The third base is denied. There's still that 1 tank on the high ground, but with that, SHIN is pushing towards the natural. He's going for the kill. Going for the kill. Going for the throw. Show us the Biles. Oh, Biles A zone away. We break down the front door, and Maru cannot hold. Cannot hold. Cannot defend. Not like this. Biles and Liberators. The freedom is denied. There's no freedom here, Pappy. No freedom. And again, SHIN is just snowballing out of control. And for Maru to lose his third base was crazy, Pappy. It was crazy. To lose the third. And we spoke about this earlier, but again, the aggression all-ins are just favored here on Ruby Rock. It is so difficult to defend the third base. It's just so open, so exposed, so accessible. And SHIN takes full advantage of that. Does take full advantage of the Biles they connects. They deny the depots. There's still that 1 tank on the low ground and on the high ground. A tank goes down. Massive Biles. And now we're going for the kill. GG gets called, and SHIN takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. SHIN takes the lead in the series. Ay, ay, ay. But again, it was a very unorthodox early game as well. Bear that in mind, as game 1, we had Maru opening up 2x Reaper from inside of the main. Not just that, his follow-up was a 2-on-1 into Banshee Raven, where the Banshee did no damage. The Banshee was not worth it, so Maru, his follow-up did fall behind. We saw the Hellion Raven follow-up snipe the expansion, and he did snipe the third, but he lost his own CC. So in the end, SHIN, he took a lead. He took a massive lead. He crippled Maru's economy, breaking the expansion across the map and denying the tech as well. That led into the big all-in. 73 drones. 73 drones, a 3.5 base all-in out of SHIN, going pure. Ling Roach Ravager breaks the third. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into the Old Republic. Oh boy. Now, the Old Republic is a larger map. True. Larger map, longer rush distance compared to Ruby Rock, but just like Ruby Rock, or similarly, the 3rd and 4th base are exposed. If you recall, we spoke about this during the Cure Hero series, where we saw that Cure, he was stuck at home and he had a hard time defending his 3rd and 4th base because of how accessible those 2 bases are. So that's also something you have to bring up here as well, is that the 3rd and 4th base are more open. If SHIN can gain map control, Maru's gonna have a hard time defending. He'll have a hard time, but here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg. It is SHIN. It's too fast. Are we not introducing the player? Oh, he's going for the hatch. He's going for the proxy hatchery, and spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing onside. It is Maru. Now, if you remember at the start of the series, we did mention that SHIN likes to mix this in. He's going for the proxy hatchery. Remember, this is a macro build. This should be hatch. It should be proxy hatch in a hatchery back at home into a later spawning pool. The goal here is to delay. The goal here is to delay the natural expansion, is to disrupt the build, is to force inefficiencies out of Maru. Oh, it's SHIN time. Shout out to the banners in the crowd. But again, in my mind, SHIN should expand behind this, as we once again open 2x Reaper in the main. So the same opener, the same build out of Maru 2 games in a row. Meanwhile, actually, I think this is going to be worse for SHIN. So SHIN, remember, he went hatch into hatch gas pool. Never mind. Hatch gas pool here, so earlier gas, earlier pool, later natural expansion. Curious to see where this leads us here. Yo, shout out to the crowd as well. But this does mean that SHIN should be able to survive this. What I'm most concerned by here is that the Reapers, when they move out across the map, they're going to be able to wreak havoc. But because of the earlier pool timing, SHIN will have a queen in time to defend. He should have a queen in time. I mean, taking the space means, yeah, it's going to be shaky. It's going to be shaky here. But as we mentioned, that proxy hatchery on the low ground for SHIN is just a distract. It's just a distract, just a delay. Hatchery does finish. He can try to make a queen here and spread creep. Maru does scouts. And you can see Maru just ignore it. Yeah, he just ignores it, he goes across the map. The queen is being built back at home defensively, thankfully. There's that CC on the high ground. And we'll see if SHIN can maintain his own bases. We'll have 2 lings across the map to apply some pressure here. Might get an SCV, maybe? Nah, not even. Yeah, these lings shouldn't get much done. Oh no, oh no! Oh, Maru, he does miss control, he was distracted. Yeah, Maru was distracted, that shouldn't have happened here. Early Roach one, we're going for a Roach all-in. Okay, so SHIN is turning this into an all-in. Again, we mentioned earlier that SHIN, he can be so fluid with his play. He's made out of water, pappy. But that means that he can make use of this proxy hatchery. It means he can make roaches across the map. He can make his roaches. For now, distracting Maru. Maru has yet to scout and confirm. Maru has seen a hatchery, but again, SHIN is not droning. SHIN, he's not droning. He's not making another queen. He's just building up lings, then soon to go for a flood across the map. Now, thankfully, Maru, he's taking it very safely here. He gets a bunker back at home, factory into tech lab, into what should be a tank. Oh no, Jesus. As TvZ pull away. And I believe a tank is on the horizon. Now, if Maru can get that tank up and running, then he can hold. But before the tank arrives is the window in time where SHIN can just kill. No, he surrounds! Yeah, Maru not paying attention. He gets caught in the center. Now it's go time. The tank is in production, as we mentioned before. If Maru can buy time for the tank, then he can hold. But until that time, SHIN is droning? SHIN is droning up. We'll see if he can break through. We'll see if he can break through here. The bile does connect. Gets 1 SCV. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4 SCVs are being focused down. Nice target firing here out of SHIN. Oh, but he will lose the Ravager. Yeah, the Ravager goes down. The tank has arrived. And Maru holds. Maru, he does hold on. And SHIN is droning. So SHIN, he does recognize he cannot kill. He cannot kill Maru, not anymore. So SHIN is droning, SHIN is saturating, SHIN is going to try to macro out of this. And the goal of this army here is just contain. Just contain for as long as possible. The purpose of that queen should be to spread creep. To spread creep backwards across the map, to force scans to be able to expand. Likewise, Maru, he has his high ground CC. So also the goal should be to break out and expand, as Stim has begun working towards a starport, working towards medevacs to eventually break out. And again, we'll see how much time SHIN can buy. Maru has to be careful. These are vanilla marines. And Tumor is being thrown down the left-hand side behind the gas geysers. SHIN is still droning. Again, getting up to proper 2-base saturation. From here, SHIN can take a third. Oh. We'll see if we can spread another Tumor here at the ramp. The queen is in position. Again, just trying to buy time for a Tumor. There it is. Tumor gets thrown down. There's a medevac for the counterattack. And now SHIN, he has to stop droning. SHIN, he's drawn up somewhat on 2 bases. SHIN is supply block. He has to be careful here because it's going to be a massive breakout here for Maru. As now there are 3 Tumors. Yeah, there are 3 Tumors. Maru's still waiting for his medevac and for Stim. And soon he can push. And again, SHIN, he needs to get ready for it. He needs to get ready. You see here that Maru, ideally he does not want to scan, but he has to. He has to scan. He'll get 2 Tumors at least. Maybe 3. 1, 2 Tumors go down. Up. Ooh, barely gets a 3rd Tumor. So finally he can land. SHIN does finish his lair. Now I can work towards right speed. Here comes the drop. Now what's important here is that Maru doesn't push. What I mean by that is that Maru keeps the tanks back at home. If he wanted to, he could have unsieged and pushed everything across the map, but no, he will keep the tanks back at home, only going for drop play. This is still quite threatening and still very mobile. And the pressure still on SHIN to survive and to defend his 3rd. Pressure's on SHIN. And Marines, they stand forward. They get on top of the expansion. SHIN is out of position. Oh, and he's going to be forced to cancel. Ay. Massive pickoff here. And now suddenly SHIN is falling behind. Yeah, SHIN is falling behind. What was supposed to be a greater economy for SHIN, not anymore. Yeah, Maru snowballing out of control. Gets 1, 2, 3 roaches. Getting into the mineral line. Drone's going to be going down. Again, the onus of the pressure was on SHIN to defend and to minimize losses, and he's failed to do so. He has failed to do so. So what I'm referring to here is that SHIN needs to be up a base to be even with the Terran. Right now, we're even on bases. So Maru, he's happily on 43 SCVs plus mules. So Maru, he has no equivalent, if not greater economy. And SHIN needs to double expand at this point. He needs a third and a fourth base to catch up. SHIN is in trouble. That early game damage was not good enough. I mean, honestly, it would have been fine if SHIN saved his third. That is the reality. If he had saved his third base, it would have been okay. Oof. Yeah, more roaches being focused down. Ravagers, they get targeted out as well. Yeah, massive pickles here, getting 1, getting 2 Ravagers. Heavy losses for SHIN, and Maru's going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throat. Here comes the mass on siege. Here comes the mass push. As Maru, he's snowballing out of control, has a massive army to work with. He looks like we bottled the first tank. 1 tank goes down. Oh my god, the tank shots are brutal. Yeah, massive tank shots. Now we're up to 4 tanks. Oh my god. Yeah, crazy tank shots going off. Roach is getting bullied back. SHIN needs more time for reinforcements. Trying to collapse in. Does get 1 more tank. Okay, second tank goes down. There's still 3 tanks behind this. Piles are coming in. He gets 1 more. Sorry, there's 4 tanks behind this. Brings out 1 of the tanks. Marines go down, and whew, SHIN, he will clean this up. He barely does clean this up. Clutch unsiege, clutch pickup, and Maru does pull out, and SHIN holds. Whew. SHIN, he barely does hold on again. Just was not enough Marines. Not enough Marines on the bio there to buffer for the tanks. SHIN does hold, and SHIN is still behind economically. Look at the worker count. We're even. 55 to 58 workers. So Maru's up in SCVs plus mules. So Maru, he has the better economy. And SHIN still needs time to stabilize. SHIN needs a fourth. As we mentioned before, like, he needs a double expand. Like, we need a fourth. We need a 4th base as quickly as possible. We need to build up our tech and get into either the infestation for infestors, or Bailey Nest is going for infestors in the hive tech. And if SHIN is given time, he can excel by going into the infestors, going into the hive, and going into ultras. That's where SHIN can really hit his stride. But SHIN is stumbling his way into the mid game. He's still stumbling. And Maru's here to make sure he gets knocked down. As Maru's dropping, denying creep. SHIN trying to fight for map control. Oh. Doesn't quite connect. Yeah, not quite. Here doesn't quite connect, so we do try to push in. Oh. Almost catching the army. Mars is going for the main push. He's got 3 tanks with the main army. Again, that's a mass. Oh, sorry, 4 tanks even. Now, this has potential. SHIN, he cannot fight head on, so he's going for the counterattack to try to force Maru back home. Because, hey, Maru didn't really leave much to defend. He turns around. Yeah, massive move here for SHIN. Maru turns back around. Every second counts. And SHIN, he preserves his Ducklings. So he gets 4 CV kills, does buy some time, and preserves his army. So far, so good. 5 tanks. 6. Whoa. Maru, he's on double factory. Yeah, he's on double factory, making 2 tanks at a time. Insane tank count. Fungals, they can make or break a fight here for SHIN. He's holding onto those infestors. Getting ready with those fungal growths. Ling's ready to get ready for its around. Nice fungal. He connects. Yeah, he connects. He does collapse in. A massive fungal on the marine. Does the second fungal as well. And where are the Zerglings? They come in from behind. They go surround. They get one. They get 2 tanks. 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks go down. Massive fungals. And with the surround, SHIN holds. Whew. Oh my god, SHIN, he does barely hold on here. Very nice fight, and more importantly, he preserves the infestors. He still has 2 infestors in his main army. He now has 2 more vipers as well. SHIN is holding, SHIN is gathering more energy, and we spoke about it. SHIN, his win condition is Hive Tech and Ultras. That is his win condition. That's been the condition as soon as you saw the infestation bit. As soon as he had to drone up, the end goal is Ultras. Can he get there? He's almost there. He's almost at Ultra Tech. The kindness plating is on the way. Kindness plating is on the way. Upgrades are on the way. +3 carapace. No fungal, so a bit of a messier fight here for SHIN. Lings get into the middle line. They force friendly fire. Ooh, 10 SCVs. 10 workers going down. We have Maru going for a double drop, going for a split push, I should say. We have a June drop on the right. We have a drop on the left. Ooh, fungals land. The piles do not. Nice splits. Nice splits out of Maru. We need to preserve those fungals as there aren't really that many. There are only 2 infestors. And Maru's backing off, and here comes the first Ultra. Ultralisks, they're arriving. They're coming, Pappy, they're coming. Oh! He gets one! Oh my god, massive pickoff. He does get one of the Vipers. Will bleed out a bunch of Marines, but that is worth it. That is worth for Maru. Now there's only 1 Viper left. That was a big oversight from SHIN. SHIN, he's maxing out. Maru has a comparable army. Kindness plating isn't done yet. Just not finishing. 3 seconds. Is done. It does finish up in time. +3 carapace still on the way as well. Viper moves in. Mass on siege. Yeah, Maru's trying to get the hell out of here. And we're still holding on to that I said Parasite Bomb, Blinding Cloud. We're holding on to it. Oh no! Ooh, the Viper falls once again. SHIN with the miscontrol. Yeah, he does overextend. 2 Vipers go down. Baileys to make their way into his army. Oh, they will not connect. Yeah, they don't quite connect here, but the Planetary goes down. A nice pickoff. Takes down the 4th. Now, this is where, if you recall, we said this in the previous series. Old Republic. Old Republic. What is the big feature about Old Republic that we kept mentioning? Open 3rd and open 4th. Massive fungal. But open 4th base, it is going to be so difficult for whoever doesn't have map control to maintain that 4th. And here it's Maru. Maru, he cannot maintain that 4th base. Massive fungals on the main army. Oh, but the Ultras go down. And SHIN has to get the hell out of here. That tank line was brutal. And SHIN plummets in supply. Maru's going for the counterattack. SHIN, he may have just overextended. SHIN, he lost so much in that assault, it was not worth it. And momentum now swinging in favor of Maru. Yeah, Maru, he has the momentum. He's pushing across the map. He's pushing in between the bases. We need more time for Ultras. SHIN needs more time, and even then, he might not have enough. Even then, even with 4 Ultralisks. Yeah, it did overextend one too many times. Does go for the Blinding Clouds. And Maru, he breaks through. He breaks through. He overwhelms. GG gets called, and Maru ties up the series 1-1. GG. Maru does tie the series up. Again, a very intense back and forth here. SHIN, very impressive that he was able to hold on and stabilize, right? SHIN was down and out. SHIN was behind when he lost the 3rd. Losing that 3rd base was a massive loss for SHIN, and Maru had momentum, and SHIN took some really impressive fights. The fungals were insane from SHIN, landing some massive fungals, collapsing the army, surrounding all the 6 tanks. He had some very, very strong fights, despite being down in supply and down in army. But again, he did overextend. He overextended. He did kill the Planetary, which was good, but then he kept fighting. Then he kept fighting. Then he kept pushing. He lost all of his Ultras, and then bam, Maru snowballs into a win. He snowballs into a win. With that, so we're tied up 1-1, and we'll see if we continue with the series or if we go for a break. I know that often production does cut to breaks here, but oh no, okay, we're going for it. We are continuing here. Game 3 is Tourmaline. Small map. Oh, small map. Short rush distance by ground. Open 3rd, open 4th, open natural, open everything. it's all open, and a short rush distance. SHIN, what's the plan? SHIN, does he go hatch block? 2 base layer? 2 base roach? Shouldn't go gasless. No, gasless is, I would say, unviable on Tourmaline. The mind is, it's working, man. Trying to figure it out. Here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the blue Zerg player, himself. It is a SHIN. 4th into the side series. 4th into the side series, and spawning in the right hand corner, we have the South Green Terran player, we have the Red Terran for onside. It is Maru. I haven't heard those chants in years. Hana do set. Maru fighting. I haven't heard those chants in so long. Obviously, I didn't say Maru. They say his Korean name. But oh my god, the nostalgia. It's been a long time. But here we go. Here we go. We're going to be opening up on Tourmaline. This time, Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of SHIN. Likewise, standard opener out of Maru as well. Remember, Maru was going for 2-ranks Reaper 2 games in a row. Now we're calming down with a standard play out of our Terran, and likewise a standard play out of SHIN as well. No proxy hatchery this time either. So we're calming things down. Once again, though, as we mentioned, oh, let's go. We have some cheerfuls in the chats. I love Zerg. Ah, the Zergling. Beautiful. There's a Canadian flag in the background. Someone drew a Canadian flag. With the rest of their cheerful message, of course. But here we go. Again, we're going to be opening up. And the real question becomes, does SHIN stay in gas? That's my question, at least. Does he stay in gas? Does he go into 2-base Roach? Or do we do something else? Hey, there it is. Hello from Canada. A friend of Maru. Ah. Let's go. Let's go. So we are opening up. If only we had someone with a can of tuna taped to the cheerful. Specifically for Ryung, right? Like Ryung, he's casting today, man. He's casting. He's on the casting couch. He's got the salmon shirt. Embracing Team Tuna. Beautiful. But now the Reaper books in. We're dancing with the Reaper. SHIN, he's still in gas. But what I want to know is how many workers are mining gas right now? How many workers are mining? It's more than one. I believe it's more than one worker in gas. Remember, he already got link speed. There's no reason. There it is at Roach Warren. So again, I was looking at the gas income and I'm like, that's too high. That's too high. Yep, there we go. Now we finally see the main 3 workers in gas. We pieced it together. So he's going for the Roach Rush. Going for the Roach Rush. A hyper aggression here by SHIN. I wanted to see the gases just because I wanted to see if it was going to be a Roach Rush or 2-base lair, which we haven't seen yet, by the way. Not 2-base lair, but it is going to be the Roach Rush. It is going to be leading to an all-in. If you recall, we'd mentioned something about this map, but Tourmaline does favor all-ins, does favor aggression. Short rush distance by ground, shorter than almost any other map. Open natural, open third, open fourth. It's all open, and the rush distance is also very direct. Like there's no high ground, there's no like points of elevation to engage with the army ahead of time or anything like that. Now, I'm curious to see if SHIN makes anything else. He's got 6 roaches on the way. He's getting a 3rd expansion. He might drone, or 7 roaches. He's getting up to 7. We might even go up to 9. SHIN, he's committing. Meanwhile, Maru went for a 1-1-1 in towards Banshee play. Wait, is that 3cc Banshee or 1-1-1? I mean, he's building up his Banshees, which will help in the defense. 3rd CC just now starting. Okay. So it's going to be a 2-1-1 build here by Maru. Delayed 3rd CC. Hyper aggression out of Maru. So he has the best chance to defend. And remember, SHIN is not all in. SHIN is droning. SHIN is going for an early Roach push. But because of the... I think build order-wise, Maru's ahead. Yeah, he spots the Roaches. Oof. He spots the Roaches. The Banshee should stay back at home. Maru's going to defend. And Maru's going to have a massive counterattack available. So winding it back when it comes to the builds themselves, Maru went for a very, very late 3rd CC, very late compared to normal builds, in favor of early Banshee, in favor of early Stim, and in favor of an early timing attack. So Maru has an abundance of units. And in the end, this early Roach build from SHIN doesn't pay off. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So this feels like an almost build order win for Maru, but we'll see how much damage is dealt, right? Here come the Metamax, and here comes the timing. Now, my concern here is that right now Shin has incentive to drone, and I believe Shin is not scouted the main. So Shin doesn't realize how committed this is going to be. Shin has very limited information at the moment. So if Shin drones too much, he will just die. And he's still droning, by the way. That's my big concern. I think droning up until this point is okay. But, any more than that, and things might very quickly snowball out of control. Okay, still droning. He's still droning up. Waiting for an extra wave of Marines. As Maru should be pushing soon. So I assume that Maru was going to be hitting with Stim. It looks like Maru is not hitting with Stim, he's hitting with +1. So this is going to be a later timing from Maru, which is giving Shin time to, which means Shin gets away with droning. Okay. Whew. So Shin, again, if Maru had pushed as soon as he had Stim, he breaks Shin. He breaks Shin and he breaks into the mineral line. Here, Maru's going for a later timing. +1 is almost complete. Almost. And we should be seeing Maru be active soon. Is he just playing scared? Like, Maru's misreading this. If he just stays at home, then Shin gets away with so much. Here comes what should be the move out, but it feels like Maru's only setting up to defend. No shot. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Shin, he's in a better position. Again, Maru's just not attacking. Like, he missed his window. There was a massive window in time where Maru could have punished Shin, but Maru, he missed his Stim timing, he missed his +1 timing. This tells us that Maru was playing scared. So big mind game there. Maru, he was playing scared. He was scared that Shin was going to come at him with an all-in, and Shin gets away with all the droning. Now he gets up to 70 workers. Now we have a much more delayed push, and Maru does keep his tanks back at home. Shout out to the Observer, does point that out. Tanks staying at home, so Maru, he's only harassing. Oh, no, never mind. We have the move out. Okay. Maru is pushing with everything. He gets spotted. Oh, the hell, that's alive. But again, the army gets spotted. So Maru, Shin responds. Banelings are on the way. Can we get him with the first tank again? Yeah, the Basel connects. One tank goes down. Nice pickup. Gets one of the tanks. There's 2 tanks left. Hatchery taking a lot of hits, and it looks like it will go down. Yeah, nice pickup. Very nice snipe. We mentioned this earlier, and it goes both ways, where the rush distance background is really short and the bases are very exposed. So you can see Maru, he just walks across the map, bam, kills the 4th, and then backs off. Like, it doesn't take long at all to get across the map. So very nice snipe out of Maru. No crippling damage, but damage nonetheless. Lings, they go for a run by, but it's too late. It's like Maru's already back at home. So Shin doesn't get much done. Maru, he will threaten the 4th base. Shin, he desperately needs that 4th. And we're looking to max out. Now, once again, just like last time, Shin's goal here should be to work towards Hive Tech. Viper production has begun. So Shin already has his Hive. No Ultra Cavern yet. No Ultra Cavern. Maru going for his drop. Getting across the map. Shin's able to keep up. Not the most efficient trades here from Shin, of course, but does hold. And again, we're still waiting for that cavern. I mean, Shin might just feel pressured to just max out first to survive. I wouldn't blame him. Maru going for the double drop on the right hand side. May now be pushing to the center. Ooh, that's a kill! Oh my god, that's a kill, not a cancel. Shin just cannot expand. That's just another 2 bases falling. Massive Pagos. SHIN losing his 5th and his 6th. As SHIN is trying to keep up with the drops. Vipers are moving in. Maru, he's very well secured. Nice SimCity. Nice SimCity. Ultra Cavern's finally done. There's the kindness plating. As I mentioned, that is SHIN's win conditions to get into Ultras. But as opposed to the previous game, this is going to be later. It's much later Ultra Tech for SHIN. Oof. Mind Shot goes off. Massive connection. Going for the blinding clouds, covering the tank. And SHIN, we got to be careful not to overextend here. I'll snipe the tank. But this is what I was worried about. Yeah, Maru's going for the counterattack. SHIN, he needs to be careful here. One bad fight and Maru, he'll just push through. He'll just break on through. SHIN zoning Maru away. Collapsing on the Marauders. Not bad. He's going to get 2. Yeah, catching out 3 Marauders. 3 Marauders go down. Struggling pokes in. Tanks are in position. That does distract Maru. And now you can see we're slowly incorporating Ultras. We're slowly incorporating them. We have 3-3 on the way. Kind of plating. SHIN, he needs to free up some supply here for the Ultras. Does catch a tank. And not bad. Tank goes down. Drags some of the mine shots. And just the one. Nice blinding clouds. Abducting the Liberators. Takes down one of the tanks. There's 1 tank left. And he can't quite get on top. Yeah, not quite. Oof. Ultra goes down. SHIN has to back off. Once again, he has to be so careful about overextending, but he does get into the mineral line. Not bad. SCVs are going down. Yeah, 3 SCV kills. Very nice. SHIN this time bringing everything together. He had a bunch of Ling Bane waiting for drops on the right hand side, but they never came, so now they've joined up with the main army. And SHIN can now fixate on this push. The blinding clouds though, sorry, the mines. Yeah, what mines going up? Blinding clouds on the tanks. Does cover one of the tanks here. Once again, trying to get on top of the planetary. Mass repair on the planetary. Planetary will barely. Can we save it? Oh no, it's gonna be close. I'm getting deja vu. I'm getting deja vu here. The planetary survives. All the Ultras just went down. If you remember last game, we had SHIN overextend and then die to the counterattack. So he's gonna be careful. Ultras, they pop out just in time. But again, SHIN has to be so careful not to lose too much here in the attack. Otherwise, we're going to repeat a game 2. Okay, SHIN going for a split push. And Maru gets distracted. Oh, the planetary is exposed. And it's going to be close. He gets it. Oh my god. Yeah, planetary goes down. Lings get into the mineral line. SCVs are falling. At the same time, Maru gets across the map. But there's an Ultra. Yeah, there's an Ultra list to defend. SHIN holds. SHIN, he holds. He's rebuilding his Ultras. Nice power bombs here on the Medivacs. Maru may have lost 1 base, but he's taking another. And again, this is still very tense. Still very, very tense. What adds to the tension here is just because of the size of the map. Like, again, like if SHIN takes a bad fight, if he loses too much, then bam, Maru's across the map. So SHIN has to be so, so careful and balance this on a knife's edge. In regards to his commitment. 3-3 upgrades are finishing. SHIN, he does scout the expand. SHIN, he's where the planetary. Maru spreading himself a little bit thin. As all the ghosts are here on the right hand side. Maru double expanding. SHIN, he has to stop one of these bases. He needs to break one of them. Either top, center, or south. Or top, center, or right. And he's going for the center. Goes in. Yeah, again, there's only 3 ghosts. The rest of the ghosts, they rotates. 1 Liberator goes down. And Bailings, they roll in. They zone away the ghosts. And as they're zoned away, the planetary falls. A massive pick off. No repair on the planetary. Ghosts, they will survive. And now we got to back off. As Ghosts are moving in with the snipes. He gets 1, he gets 2. Yeah, 2 Ultras go down. As I mentioned, all the ghosts survive the fight. He wants the ultras. He's gotten 2 so far. Just 2. Yeah, just 2 ultras fall. Overall, that was a better fight for SHIN. I would say that he stuck around a little bit too long, like a couple of seconds too long. But overall, he gets away, preserves some of his ultras. Oh, cleaning up some of the mines. Not bad. SHIN gets ready for another counterattack. Maru's out of position. The mine shot. Oof. When the mine does connect, Links they bust into the mineral line. Biles are connecting as well. They get the SCVs, and the planetary will get picked off. Massive pickup here. SHIN, he dominates these fringe bases. No planetary on the top side. More SCVs going to be going down, and Maru's being torn apart. He's being torn apart here. Oh, his economy is hurting. Maru, he just lost 2 bases and 1 mineral line. SHIN has momentum. Momentum is on SHIN's side. There's a lot of mining going on here at the northern 4th. SHIN, he needs to break that expansion. Once again, the pressure's on SHIN. Oh, he's gonna get caught. Yeah, he gets caught out. I appreciate the idea there for SHIN. But there is a turret in position, catching out the Bard Infestor. Ultra run-by gets into the mineral line. It's an expensive run-by as the Ultra goes down. Does not burrow in time. Oh. Sniped an Infestor. And SHIN's getting ready for Broodlords. He's getting ready for the Brutal attack. I still think that Ultras are still useful at the moment, still barely. But only if we're able to engage where there aren't any ghosts. And SHIN has been struggling to rotate. He backs off, he rotates to the center. So does Maru. SHIN, does he double back? I'd want to see that. I want to see him double back to the right hand side. Because this is a big rotation to the center here for Maru. Ooh. Lings, they do get in. They somewhat get in. SHIN, now's the time to strike. Ah, he's late. Yeah, this push on the right hand side is a little bit late. Ultras, they back up completely. Maru has time to respond. You can see on the minimap, I think those are the ghosts responding. What are they? Yeah, they are. Yeah, all the ghosts make it. So SHIN, he missed it. He missed that window. I say that the ghosts actually, they retreat. They go to the center. Okay, there's an opening again. There's an opening once again. Ah, but SHIN goes to the center. And Maru, he takes the bases. He maintains his 5 bases now. Sorry, 6. 6 expansions. This is a rough position for SHIN. Up until this point, SHIN's been knocking down base after base, at least one at a time, but at this point, Maru secured all 3 bases. SHIN tries to collapse in. Decent fungal. Mine shots going off. Doesn't quite drag in. That was an okay fight for SHIN. It was okay. But again, I'm most concerned by the fringe bases. They're fully operational. It looks like under saturation on the right hand side. As Maru wants another expand. And it is difficult. It's just been purely positional play. It's been pure positional play so far. Where SHIN's just been trying to strike wherever the ghosts are not. Now he commits in. He does get 1. He does get 2 tanks. Oh my god, massive mine shots. Massive little mine shots. And it looks like he will get 4 tank kills. Pushing into the mineral line. And it looks like the center base is going to be broken. Ghosts, they will get away. And nice splits from the ghosts. Despite that, 1, 2, 3 ghosts go down. Does get the mineral line at 19 SCV kills. And I believe in this assault, SHIN did not lose that Ultra. He didn't lose the Ultras, but he will lose the Vipers. Yeah, Vipers go down. There's 1 Infestor left. Ultras that survive. He's got 5 Ultralisks. And he wants to collapse in. Oh, no. He needs Zerglings. He needs Zergling support. Yeah, here comes Maru's counterattack. Breaks down a base, but with reinforcements, SHIN will punish. So Maru has to back off. Maru retreats. Now, suddenly, this center position is that much weaker, right? Those, what, 5-6 tanks going down earlier. The planetary as well. Now it's an orbital. We can see Maru does replenish his siege line. And there are no Broodlords yet. But now there are Corruptors. And now we're going for the Medivacs. Yeah, we're going for the Medivacs. Catching out 1, 2 Liberators. Corruptors, they give chase. They catch out a couple of Medivacs. CC does lift. Shinny just keeps chasing. It just does chase him down. Oh, massive Fungal. Oh my god. Fungal lands. Finally, Ghosts go down. Massive connections. That's what, 4 Ghosts falling. Insane pickups. And Shin, he's doing it. Shin, he has done it. So you can see how low the working on is for Maru. Bam, we bust into a mineral line. Remember, there was no backup planetary. Yeah, no planetary. Maru, he's falling apart. As we reset the medevac counts. Maru losing every single medevac. And Shin has done it. And again, it was very tense, I will say. It was very, very tense. I was very concerned when Maru got his 6 bases up and running. That was a concerning moment, of course. But hey, Shin, he was able to break through the center. Land the Fungals. Collapse on the army. Reset the tank counts. And here comes the killing blow. Once again, he wants those ghosts. He wants them. The ghosts, they get away. But last, there's an opening into the natural. Now there's an opening. Massive Snipe hopping up. Shin gets into the main. Ultras, they collapse forward once again. Nice kiting here from Maru. Oh my god, but there's only so much kiting you can do. GG gets called, and Shin will take a 2-1 lead in the series. Whew. GG, well played. Shin, he does take a 2-0 lead in the series. Sorry, 2-1 lead in the series, and he is 1 game away from claiming the series. And again, I'll be honest, I can see a world where this could have been a 3-0. This could have been a 3-0. I'm still thinking about game 2 where Shin overextended on the Old Republic. Like, the Old Republic, I can see it being Shin's game as well. It could have been a 3-0, but again, we do have that back and forth. Maru did bounce back in the Old Republic, and now Shin is 1 game away from claiming the series. We'll see if we can bring Maru down here and now. Oh boy. Ooh, here we go again. The pressure is on Maru. Once again, Shin, he was able to stabilize, build up into his roaches, and you can see that Shin, he learned from the Old Republic. I'm sure you noticed, but Shin, he was so much more careful when it came to his attacks. On the Old Republic, he was more careless, where he was throwing away ultras, right? He was overextending, throwing away ultras, and bleeding out too much. This time, he was much more tentative and much more careful with those ultras to pull back in time, to pull back, to preserve his army, and to retain that ultra count, to make sure that he had enough for a counterattack. Regardless, we're going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have the rest of the series. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, hope you enjoyed that lovely short break as we have returned here with the semifinals of the GSL Season 1 2026, the first season here of the year. And it's been an intense back and forth. Shin is up 2-1 against Maru and 1 game away from claiming the series. Remember, this is a best of 5. Best of 5, ZVT and Shin. He is so close, but Maru is still a beast. He's still a Titan, of course. He's still one of the best Terran players in the world. And very easily, we could see an ace match. So the pressure's on. The pressure's on. Maru, can he bring us to game 5? Shin, can he close it out here and now and end the series and advance to the finals? Let's go. Let us go. If you recall, at the start of the series, we were emphasizing the ZVT prowess of Shin as of late, how Shin has been very intense, very unpredictable, and very well versed in ZVT. So we were praising him, of course. Maru was still coming in as a favorite player, but Shin came in locked and loaded, and we'll see if he can close it out here and now. As game 4 is going to be on Mothership. Ooh, a little bit of RNG, by the way. Mothership is a 3-player spawn map, 3 possible spawn locations, and we'll see how our players scout and how we open up as well. Does Shin risk going for another Roach Rush? Remember, okay, sorry, winding it back. We actually didn't really get to even talk about game 3. The game on Tourmaline was really weird. Remember, it all began with Shin going for a Roach Rush. Shin, he went for a Roach Rush, and Maru perplexed us. do you recall how we were reacting? How Maru, he opened up with a fast 2-1-1, delayed third base, he missed his stim timing, he missed his +1 timing, he was very passive. We'll get into it. In the bottom side of Mothership, we have Shin, the Zerg. And top right hand corner, we have the red Terran player for onside. It is Maru. Let's go. Let us go. But if you remember, we were perplexed because Maru, he was missing his timings. He missed his stim timing, he missed his +1 timing, and he did not push with his tanks, despite Shin being greedy. And Shin got away with that greed. And our assumption here is that Maru, because of the early roach rush that Shin was going for, Maru assumed that Shin was going for an all-in, and Maru played overly safe. As a result, Shin got away with the droning, he got away with the economy, he got away with building up back at home and securing himself. That led into, of course, Shin snowing out of control. Oh, let's go. Finally we made it. Go Shin for the swarm. Let's go. But again, it kind of led into that game say where Shin got away with his economy, got away with his greed, got away with map control, and then was able to hammer down the base after base out of Maru. Of course, we still had it back and forth. It was still very intense, but regardless, GG. GG, and with that, Shin is one game away from claiming the series. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Shin. Meanwhile, Maru going for his own racks expand. Standard openers abound. I bring this up just because we have been seeing some early aggression with proxy hatcheries, with 2x Reaper, for example, as well. We have been seeing our players vary things up a little bit, but here, everything's looking as it should. Now, the first big sign that we're waiting for here is, does Shin pull out of gas or not? Last game, if you remember, Shin didn't pull out. I thought it was going to be for a 2-base lair, but no, he went into a fast roach warren. He went into a very, very fast roach warren, into a fast roach rush, which Shin pivoted away from and droned up behind. So we'll see how Shin does spend his gas, whether he plays standard or whether he does go into an early lair. Meanwhile, Shin does scout the left side. He does scout the left side first with the Overlord before checking the right hand side. So it's going to be a later scout from Shin. Will be that later scouts. Shin going for a third hatchery at a very standard timing here. So this is the most standard game that we've seen out of Shin so far. The most standard build, I should emphasize. So standard opener going hatch gas pool into a third base for the first time this series here from Shin, as has been very chaotic and dynamic in the early game. Very much so. And of course, welcome to Mothership. Mothership is an interesting map. The map pool, Mothership is much more open, longer rush distance compared to Tourmaline, and the bases themselves are a little bit more spread out. Typically, we favor Zerg players in longer games. Like if we can get into a 4 and 5 base setup, but then typically the Zerg player will have map control, and it'll be the Terran, similar to last game actually, the Terran player stuck at home, struggling to keep up with the rotations to defend the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th base. That's usually the dynamic in longer games on Mothership, if we can get to a longer game. Because do you see what I see? I see a 3rd CC into a 2nd Rax. That is a 3 CC 2-on-1 build here by Maru. Maru is going for an early sim timing. He's going, I mean, I say early, not as early as a 2-on-1, but early nonetheless. This hits at around 5:30. Like around 5 minutes 30 is when Maru should be pushing out, hitting with 2 Medivacs, Mass Marine, and a stim timing as well. Ooh, that is a fast double E-base setup here. I'm curious. Now, usually when we see fast eBays in such a fashion, and you can see the observer point this out, usually this is telegraphing for 8 Raxes, for a 3-base 8 Rax all in. So that's what I'm thinking in the back of my mind, or in the forefront of my mind right now, is the setup for 8 Raxes, is setup for an all in. If you're curious what that is, an A-Rax all-in is when you take a 3rd base, you don't take the gases, you go into fast 1-1, fast 2-2 upgrades, into 8 Raxes, of course, into Mass Marine Tank. Mass Marine Tank, because you don't take your gases, you don't have a setup for a 4th CC or a 2nd factory, as it is an all-in. That's kind of like the trajectory that we're looking at here. Oh, the Hellions get caught. The Hellions, they do get caught out here, and one Hellion goes down. Nice pick off here by Shin. That should not have happened. And Shin is going for the early Roach Horn into Evo Chamber. Now, I say early Roach Horn, this is not as early as last game. So this is not a Roach Rush. This is a Roach Opener. That means it's going to be an Evo Chamber into +1 Carapace, into a Roach Heavy Style, into 3-base Saturation, into an Infestation Pit, most likely. Technically, Shin can turn this into a 3-base all-in. That is true. Where Shin can cut workers at around 66, get a 4th base just for Larva. But on Mothership, I can see Shin getting a 4th base and joining. But we'll see. It's still a little bit early to really confirm. So now Lings are poking. They're trying to gain map control. Extra reactions are now being thrown down for Maru. We have a handful of roaches amassing. And SHIN does cut worker production here at 57. He's killed both Hellions. So Maru doesn't see what's going on. I can see more roaches amassing, and now we drone. Okay. So SHIN, he's under 3-base saturation, but based on the production tab, it looks like he wants to drone, looks like he wants to saturate. We mentioned earlier that the 2-on-1 timing of Maru hits at 5:30, but Maru's stuck at home. Like, these two medevacs full of Marines, they want to be across the map. That was the purpose of this build, but Maru's stuck at home. He scans, he does see the roaches. It's a decent chunk of roaches here for SHIN. And once again, so he makes 7 roaches, then he starts droning. So it looks like SHIN, he does plan on saturating his 4th base. He needs a 4th first. But yeah, there we go. 8 drones on the way. 2nd Eva chamber for double upgrades into what should be a 4th expansion, and infestation bit into hive tech into ultras. Like, again, that is the go-to for SHIN for most Zerg players nowadays in the current meta in the mid to late game, is to rush ultras. But we're getting ahead of ourselves for now. SHIN applying pressure. Bleeds at 1, 2 roaches, 3. Yeah, very nice figure. 3 roaches go down. Bit of miscontrol there from SHIN. SHIN, we gotta calm down here. We're overextending. Yeah, big overextension here as 1 Ravager goes down. Lings, they do flood in though. Yeah, they come in to reinforce. They do buffer. They collapse on top of the Marines. And do we get on top of the tank? No. Yeah, it doesn't get on top of the tank here. Again, SHIN did overextend. Takes a bad fight. He will bleed out Ravagers and Roaches. This was not the fight to go for. And again, SHIN, he's the one that engaged, by the way. Did engage in. And SHIN, he bleeds out a bunch of roaches, but he does get 11 SCVs. So you can see here a 1-to-1 trade. 11 roaches for 11 SCVs, but he also lost Ravagers as well. So it was a trade. You could argue that was worth it, hindering the economy. And I would say it was worth it only because Maru's staying at home. Do you notice Maru's still at home? So Maru isn't able to punish or apply any pressure or try to punish his opponent. Now, never mind, he moves out. So triple drop across the map. We'll see if SHIN can minimize losses, because Maru, his eyes are set on the 4th base. The eyes are on the 4th. SHIN, he does rotate. Oh, he's being overwhelmed. Yeah, so many Marines here. Every roach is going to go down. SHIN out of position, and now we're going for the mineral line. 6, 7 drones. Oh my god, critical damage. 12 drones go down. Again, SHIN was out of position. Ideally, he needed Maru to stay back home. Now we're dropping into the main. And this has already paid for itself, and now we're looking for more damage. Ay. Yeah, Marines, they just keep going. They just keep on going here. They bust into the main base, going for the Evo chamber, nothing to defend. Chamber goes down. More drone kills. This is game ending. There's game ending damage here. Now, after SHIN defends this, he's gonna have the option to all in. Oh. He will have the option. Yeah, you can see SHIN shaking his head on cams. He knows. Like, he knows that, like, there's, like, what can he do? As he's losing too much. Losing far too much here. Going back in. 19 drones. 20. 21. 21 drones. Now, SHIN has chosen not to all in. Do you see what I see? Hive. He's making a hive. This tells us that SHIN, he wants to try to macro. So SHIN is playing from behind. He's playing from behind. Remember, the soup is lying to you. The soup is lying, papi. As SHIN is technically up in supply, but he has inflated supply because of his roaches. So it's inflated army supply. And he's down, or he's even in workers, which means he's behind economically. Maru's pushing. And again, based on SHIN's like reactions on cam earlier, like he knows, like it's as he does get into one of the tanks and the medevac. 1 tank and 1 medevac go down. Marine Rotor does him in. Oh my god, the medevacs, they do fall to the biles. So some messy engagements there by Maru. Very nicely in counterattack. Gets into the mineral line, but can he stop the main army? Can the main army be stopped? As Maru's now pushing into the natural. We have Vipers on the way. Baliness goes down, denies Baling speed. But can SHIN pull this off? Can he survive? Oh, his drones are getting picked up here. Violence over one of the tanks. Gets 2. Okay. 2 tanks go down. Shin, he's holding on. Lings, they don't get much done across the map though. Oof. And Maru, he retreats. Maru, he does retreat, he does turn back around. Shin is holding. Now at least he was able to do some counter damage, that is true. But he needs time. Like, Shin is not out of the woods yet. He needs infestors. We need infestors. We need the Ultra Cavern. Shin, he needs time to really take up, as right now he's stuck with a very mid-tier army. Very mid-tier. Now, if he can catch the army unsieged, true. Right now we have a triple drop on the left. Shin, he pushes right through the center. Uh-oh. Tanks, they all set up at the third, which means the fourth base is more exposed. And there are some blinding clouds. There is potential. Shinny's going for it. Yeah, Shinny dives in. There's a first blinding cloud. Covers 2, 3 tanks so far. Covers all of them. Okay, every tank gets covered. He breaks his position. At the same time, we're going for the counterattack. Maru, he does kill the fourth. And we're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Every SCV goes down. This is all or nothing. It's all or nothing here for Shinny's all in. Keep going. We got to keep going. At the same time, the drop kills one base. Now going for the third. It's all going down. Everything's catching fire. It's like, oh no, the Ravagers. Oof. Yeah, losing 1, 2, 3 Ravagers. Shin, he cannot break the natural. He cannot break the natural base. At the same time, though, Maru, he can. He stims. Oh, the Queens. Clutch transfuse. Very clutch. Oh my god, the Viper. Yeah, Viper overextends. 1 Viper goes down. Queens are running out of transfuse energy. And Maru does break through. GG gets called. Maru, he breaks into the natural base. And Maru ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very rough game there for Shin. As Shin, he had an okay start. But then Maru moved out with his triple drop and he dealt crippling damage. Game-ending damage, really. He killed so many drones, killing so many workers, denying reinforcements as well, and keeping Shin busy. Shin, of course, that all came off of Shin overextending. If you recall, the ball started rolling in Maru's favor when Shin went across the map and he hit the third base and he didn't break through the Marines. He was able to kill some SCVs. He got like 11 SCV kills, but he lost his Roaches, he lost his Ravagers. That triggered the counterattack and Shin could not survive that counterattack. From that moment, the pressure was on Shin. That's why he was shaking his head. That's why he himself was out of it. We did try to force a base trade, which was the best scenario, right? That was the best chance that Shin had. It was the only chance, and again, it was desperate. Didn't quite work out. GG. We're going to the ace match. We're going to game 5, and it's going to be on Winter Madness. Okay, so we're now going to be loading into the most standard map in the map pool. The most standard is not too big, it's not too small. It's on the bigger side, likewise defendable bases as well. I would say on a map like this, it is easier for the Terran player to set up on 4 bases. We'll see how Shin will approach this. We shall see. Usually it's the 5th base on this map, which is much more difficult to maintain. We're loading in. We're loading into Winter Madness this morning. In the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Green Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg. It is a Shin. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the South Green Terran for onside. It is Maru. Let's go. Let us go. So chat, I'm a Predators player. Is there a reason why Shin is avoiding Hydra Lurker? So currently in the meta, it is viable to go Lingbane Hydra, but Shin's preferred style is to rush Ultra. So I should emphasize that almost every game that we've seen outside of early game aggression, the goal here has been to go Roaches and then to rush into Hive Tech and to rush into Ultras. If he can get there, then you can win. And that's how, I mean, we've seen that, right? We've seen that already in these games. Is you have a big power spike once you get into Hive Tech and once you get into Ultras. Oh, let's go. Oh, yo, let's go. It's Mr. Che. Shout out to Mr. Che. Yeah. All the cheerfuls in the crowd. But again, so the win condition for Shin has been to play some heavy roach play into ultras. It's very aggressive. It's very, very aggressive, of course. And it gives the Terran player very little room to breathe. That's been the goal here for Shin. If you want to play more standard and more macro and like have a more like middling back and forth, the Lingbane Hydra is viable. But like Shin has just been very aggressive and very in the face. And the goal here, of course, has been to rush into Hive Tech, rush into ultras before there are any ghosts out. It's a specific style that is preferred here. You can, if you go into Lingbane Hydra, it's usually a lot more passive. It's usually a lot more passive. It's usually a lot more defensive, more importantly. And it's just a very different kind of dynamic. It does allow the Terran player typically to kind of easily and kind of expand back at home and have control of their own map. And it's just, again, just a very different dynamic, and it's very different stylistically. So Shin, he's the kind of player that wants to keep the Terran player on the back foot. He wants to keep the pressure on, basically. Wants to keep the pressure on. And hey, it's been working, right? Like, that's why we've seen this kind of like back and forth. I mentioned earlier that we could have seen a 3-0 for Shin if Shin was a little bit more careful on the Old Republic. If you remember, the big issue on the Old Republic was that Shin overextended with his ultras, right? He overextended, he lost too much. But behind this, Shin, he is amassing Zerglings. Ooh, he's going for a Link Flood. Yeah, you can see Shin, he does skirt his Lings around. The Reapers are distracted. It's 2x Reaper at Maru. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. But 2x Reaper at Maru, he's distracted by the hatchery. Meanwhile, Shin, he's going across the map. Yeah, Link speed is more than halfway done. At the same time, again, getting across the map. Hatchery's getting low. Shin still needs a little bit more time. Oof. And he delays. Yeah, he barely delays the CC. Very nice pickoff. Delays the command center. Catching him more SCVs. The boys are being pulled. Ooh, we'll lose a queen. Does lose a queen. Picks off a couple of SCVs. Link speed is done in 6 seconds. Yeah, Link speed is now done. And this is getting... Oh, this is too much. 6? Yeah, 6. 7 SCV kills. 7 SCVs going down. We flood across the map. And is the wall going to be open? Nah, the wall is closed. Okay, the wall is closed. Lings are here to nibble away at the wall. Reapers are not so far behind. Reapers, they make it back in time. They will defend. Oh, the deeper, no, he breaks through. He breaks in. Oh my god, he breaks into the main base. He needs to surround those Reapers. He avoids it. He avoids it, going for the SCVs. Gets into the mineral line. More SCVs going down. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand here. Maru losing a little bit too much. He does have a CC in the main though. Oh my god, he went 3 CC? Jesus. He went for a 3 CC 2-on-1, so he can sustain this. He can sustain some of these losses. It's still some heavy losses there for Maru. Oh, the close-up on Shin. He's locked in. But remember, Maru has a 3rd CC. He can make 3 SCVs at a time, and he has triple mules. He has a lot of mules available as well. So Maru, he does have a way back into this game. If he didn't have a 3rd, like, Shin will be massively ahead. Because of the 3rd base, Shin is in a decent position, but Maru, he can stabilize. He can stabilize. Double E-base, double upgrades. Maru's building up. Heavy Reaper rotating. It does rotate. You do see Shin poke in, pull away, keeping Maru busy. And we'll see how Shin techs. He has options. Like we've been mentioning recently how Shin's been playing very roach heavy into ultras. So far though, Shin, he has a choice to make. Like he could go into Hydras if he so chose to. But one Evo Chamber feels like roach play. Just one Evo Chamber into +1 carapace. Because of Shin's economic damage, he might decide to cut workers and commit in the mid game. But we'll see. +1 carapace is on the way. 2nd Evo Chamber is not too far behind. There's still no Roach Warren or Bailey Nest. Still no tech. Which is greedy. It is a little bit greedy here from Shin. He's defending with purely Link Queen. 1 Queen gets caught out. Oof. Does get picked up. Nice catch out of Maru. Gets a Queen. Does catch a queen. Lings, they overextend. Ideally want to catch this army on creep. Maru knows that, so he stays off. He does stay off. We have +1 melee on the way. Lair as well. So a couple of things here. Okay, there's a Baneling Nest. I was about to say, without a Baneling Nest, we could go into a Spire from here. But for the first time this series, no roaches. Like, SHIN is playing... Again, he has the freedom to kind of play how he wants. So from here, we're either going to be seeing Hydras or a Spire. The Lings, they catch out the Hellions. He does catch him for the most part. And Reapers go down. The Hellions, they do get away. Whew. They do get away. Waiting for that layer to finish. Scan into natural, just spot the 1/1 upgrades. And how are we going to play this out? It would be really risky to go Mutas here just because it has a lot of potential, but at the same time it's very high risk, high reward. And there it is, going for Hydras. Hey, ask and you shall receive. We heard it in the chats, like, why are we not seeing any kind of Hydra tech? Now finally we are. But again, one of the reasons for this is because SHIN dealt a lot of economic damage down early on, so he was safe to be greedy. He was safe to be greedy. So we're going to Lingbane Hydra. Now this can lead into Lurker tech, as the kind of hive tech option, of course. But it also means that SHIN can't really push in, right? Right now, SHIN, he's trying to gain map control. He's saturating on 4 bases. SHIN is on 80 workers. Now, because of the high economy for SHIN, he can soon max out. He can soon start to max. And we'll see if SHIN can break the 3rd. Ideally, personally, I would want SHIN to wait for a 4th. To wait for his opponent to get a 4th base up and then collapse in. Pushing into Maru, turtling up on 3 bases, it can be difficult to break a turtling Terran player. Specifically Maru. So it would be a risk if SHIN tries to push into the 3rd, but as you can see, Maru is taking a 4th base, and that is when Maru starts to spread himself thin a little bit. So this does give SHIN some opportunities. So now Maru is being active, the Hydras are amassing, Infestation Bit's on the way, that'll be for the Hive Tech. Fourth base gets spotted, and this should trigger SHIN, right? SHIN, he's about to max. He's about to max out, and now he has choices to make. Now he can push into the natural, the 3rd, or the 4th base. He can kind of like rotate and pick which area to assault. We can see Maru doing his best to set up his tanks, set up his sensor towers, and it's going to be on Maru to rotate and to keep up with the main army. Wherever SHIN decides to push into, Maru, he needs to be in position. He needs to be in position here. Oh. As Maru, he trades well. Trades well against the Zerglings. Hive is on the way. You're going for Pneumatized Carapace. That'll be for Dropper Lords. As you can see here, the goal should be to drop into the natural. That's how SHIN will break through. He's going for the drops. And he loads up. He's loading up for the Doom Drop. Oh, does he find? Does he see? No, he turned around. Quick moves out of SHIN. He hides the Doom Drop. And Maru's about to max. You can see here that because SHIN has waited so long, and he has waited too long, I would say, Maru's maxing out. Again, breaking a turtling Maru is not going to be easy. We have the Nidus, sorry, we have the Lurker Den on the way. No Nidus Storm yet. I didn't see this doing too much, to be honest. Tries to drop in. Maru responds. For the most part, Maru's in position. And SHIN is headed for the 4th. Can he bring down the planetary? He should be able to. Yeah, you can see here, there's nothing in position. Only 2 tanks. Tanks are naked. Both tanks go down. Banelings, they chase the... Oh, they don't chase the SUVs, never mind. Settles to the planetary. And this is the win condition for SHIN. Break the planetary. Break the 4th. Break the 4th. Time and time again. Keep Maru on a low economy. Keep him low. Lurker Den is on the way. Has just finished, I should say. Followed by the upgrades. Vipers are popping out. And SHIN, he's gearing up here for the next wave, for the next push. Now, this time, Maru's in position. You can see here, this time he's got 5 tanks setting up outside of his 4th. He's got a good amount of bio. SHIN, he's gonna be careful. Ooh. Yeah, SHIN, he has to be careful here. Now, the moment that SHIN stops breaking through this defensive line, and the moment that he starts being too inefficient, we need to start taking up. So SHIN will see when and if he makes that choice. Maru getting a 5th base. Oh, this 5th base is very open. We mentioned at the start of the game, if you remember, Winter Madness is an easier 4-base setup, but the 5th base, that is very difficult to defend. This location here, it's much more open, much more exposed. You can see SHIN rotate over. This is SHIN's moment to break the low grounds. Double Nidus for him. Double Nidus here with the lurkers. The goal here is to distract Maru into ideally Nidus into the main. I believe that's 6 lurkers, and here's the tech. So we mentioned earlier that the moment that SHIN can't break the 4th base, we got to start taking up, and now we have the Ultra Cavern and the Spire. So now we're getting ready for Corruptors, for Broodlords, and for Ultras. Decent Blinding Clouds. SHIN does hit the 4th. Lings, they get on top of the tanks, getting 1, 2, 3 tanks, not bad, and the Planetary. At the same time, Double Nidus. Yeah, Double Nidus Worms on the way. SHIN, he does pull back. One Nidus will fall, but the other will finish. Yeah, the other should finish. Lurkers, they pop out. They burrow. They do burrow in time. They trade okay against the Marines. Yeah, Marines are going down. At the same time, SHIN rotating over towards the 5th base. Bailings, they roll in. And they catch the Ghosts. Very nice. They don't get the expansion, but Ghosts do go down. So SHIN is catching Ghosts. The Lings are trickling into the main. Queen? what are we doing? Yeah, a little bit of everything. A little bit too chaotic here, and SHIN gets punished. SHIN gets punished. He's going to be cleaned up. Yeah, a little bit too ambitious there from SHIN. But so far, this has been decent damage. Now, the one critical thing that I would say about SHIN is that he has not prioritized mining on the fringe bases. Like Serral, for example, and Classic as well, and Hero, they're all very good at saturating those fringe bases. As soon as they get top right and bottom left, you pull the boys. You may not over towards those bases because they're the most crucial bases to take resources from. To make sure that Maru never gets them. Regardless, the Planetary will fall. As you mentioned, this low ground 5th base is very difficult to maintain. So it takes down the 5th. Lings, they hit the left-hand side. Looks like they're not killing any SCVs. Yeah, there's a Planetary. SHIN, he's rotating towards that Planetary. We have the upgrades on the way for the Spire. So the transition point from here should be for Broodlords. Or getting ready for that. We don't want to get there too quickly, but at a certain point, like, we will have to get ready for a potential Broodlord Infestor. Again, Maru, he's the best Terran player in the world when it comes to turtling. Better than Clem, better than Bjorn, better than Cure. So if anyone can turtle up on 5 bases on Winter Madness, it's going to be Maru. And now we see the Maynard. Kind of. Like, center left hasn't been saturated yet, which is concerning. Nidus Worms are on the way. These Nidus Worms will allow SHIN to evacuate the mineral lines if there's like drop play coming in. Okay, Nidus Worms across the map. Maru, he's stabilizing on 4 bases. Maru, he's building up a bank. That is dangerous. A Terran play with a bank. As SHIN does move in, tanks are exposed. They're on their own. No ghost, no ghost, no bio. The SCVs. Oh, this time he does not get away. Massive connections. 14 SCV kills alongside the tanks. Very nice assault there from SHIN. And again, Maru, his ghosts were distracted by the Nidus Worms. So Nidus Worms did distract. Planetary goes down, 16 SCV kills. Maru, you can see he's trying to take top right. And this is why I wanted Shin to saturate these bases earlier. Because Maru, he wants them. He wants these expansions here in the top right-hand corner. And there's a world where he takes them. So, like... So, this is on Shin. That he did not saturate this earlier. Moving in, nice fighting clouds. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Maybe 4 tanks. Oh, there we go. 4 tanks go down. Not bad. Maru, he does kill the expansion. And that is a fresh base, by the way. Shin didn't mind at all from that expansion. We all know planetary. Oh, no planetary. Every tank falls here. Every SCV as well. Ay, ay, ay. There were so many mules. CC will lift. Nidus into the main base. Maru's being torn apart. He's being torn apart, Papi. As Maru, all of his ghosts respond to the main. So now Shin, he knows where the ghosts are, so he knows he can move in. Hydras, they collapse on the CC. They're looking for a kill. Oh, Maru does break out on the south side. Yeah, Maru, he gets behind the mineral line. Oh, without Hydras, that's going to be a difficult position to break. But hey, he kills the CC. Not the one that he wanted, but kills the command center nonetheless. Oof. Meanwhile, this hatchery will fall. Again, pure Ling cannot engage with this army. As long as it's behind him. Oh, the queens! He gets 3! Oh my god. 1, 2, 3 queens go down. Nice worm as well. Nice drop out of Maru. Ling's forced to counterattack. Getting into the mineral line. Oh my god. They catch out the mineral line. That's 18 SCVs going down. Getting into reinforcing tanks as well. Yeah, catching out the tanks. He wants that final tank. He wants it. Oh, bit of an awkward move command, but he does get it. Hey, gets a tank. That's 3 tanks going down. Shinny moves in on the right-hand side, catching out more tanks, more tanks, more CCs. Won't get the expansion. But still, very nice pickles, very nice trades here from Shin. Does spot the CC on the top side. Does at least delay. Oh, Shin's gonna be careful. Yeah, Shin overextends. Shin, he has to back off. He has to remax. He does need to remax here. See, I said in the chat. Not the duckling I'm used to. Yes, yes. Soup, they have some ducklings for emotes. And they're crazy. Oh, no. And now there's only 2 Liberators and only a handful of tanks. Yeah, Ling Bane does roll forward, catching up both tanks. Baneling's overextend for a moment here, but still that neither CC. Oh my god, they crash in, they kill the CC! Yeah, they snipe the command center. Nice pick off here by Shin. And again, Shin he's just pulling Maru apart left and right over and over again. Maru, he's burning through his bank, trying to keep up. Maru, he still does maintain the base on the left-hand side, and he has actually retained the center expansion as well, which is impressive. 700 links have gone down this game. 700 Zerglings. Shinny goes for a counterattack, but this is spotted by the I almost said Zelnaga towers, by the sensor towers. Oh, nice borrow. Forcing a scan. He wants the ghost. He wants the ghost! Can he get them? Lings, they collapse in, and they will catch out some of the ghosts. Now they slip away. They do slip away. Very close. Again, the ghosts, they are the backbone of Maru's army. He cannot lose them. And they barely slipped away. He got away, Pap. He got away. Oh, Shin's gonna be careful. As Shin tries to move in. There we go. Nidus does finish in the main. We got 2 more Nidus worms on the way. Oh my god, there's so many Nidus worms. Yeah, all the Nidus worms. Came with the production. Catching out a good chunk of bio. Going for the CC on the high ground. It does on Jin. Catching out the Liberator. Nice big goals here by Shin. Shin collapsing on top of the final tanks. And going for the center planetary. Yeah, it does go for the planetary. And finally the 5th base goes down. I mean, they're about to be replaced instantly, but still. Nice catch there from Shin. Catching at the planetary. CC's being replaced. You can see Maru's running out of resources. This is the most important base here for Maru, is that 5th. And he does take the northern base. Oh, Shin should not let this happen. He should not let this happen. That is a fresh mining base for Maru. And Shin, he has to commit. You can see him unload everything for the Nidoswarm. It's all or nothing here for Shin to break that position. Likewise for Maru as well, I should emphasize. Oh, he surrounds it and catches all these free Marauders. That is expensive. Oh, nice link counter attack. Yeah, Lurkers, 8 to 9 mining. Massive losses for Maru. The tanks on siege. Oh my god. Okay, clutch pickup. But again, the tanks are on their own. Cashing out 4 tanks. Banelings, not the most efficient use of Banelings is what I will say, but still breaks through the tanks. Breaks through the Liberators. Ghosts will survive. Shin, we gotta be careful here. Yeah, Shin, he throws away his Vipers. Vipers are thrown away. Corruptors as well. Shin, he cannot push into those Ghosts. That was a rough fight for Shin. And Maru, he's able to counterattack. Yeah, Maru's able to counterattack. That base is low. Nidoswarm does distract Maru. And Shin, he needs to deny that northern base. And it looks like he should be able to. Shin, he's remaxed. Again, a handful of links is all we need. Send them in. Send them in, Bappy. And not quite able to. Shin is just hyper fixated on this ramp, but that base is freely mining. All we need is a handful of Zerglings. There we go, they peel off. Never mind. We were just going through the one choke point here. The best fight that Maru could hope for. Despite that the Ultras, they barely break through. They try to. The Ghosts, they hold their own. They snipe every single Ultralisks. I'm not too fond of this Ultra switch. Like, it's been rough. Oh, nice fungal. We get an okay fungal. These are expensive losses for Shin. Shin doesn't have a lot of gas. Finally peels off some units. This could have been done sooner. And Maru, he defends it. He does defend the base. Shin's in trouble here. He's going back into Ultra. Ultras are okay, but we need Infestors. Like, without Infestors, we cannot look down the Ghosts. And if we can't look down the Ghosts, then the Ultras, they just melt. Okay, 3 Infestors have arrived. But it looks like maybe Shin... Yeah, he was just tunnel visioning. He was just tunnel visioning heavily. Just didn't recognize that the base was taken. Did not recognize. Oof, another Ultralisk goes down. No, the Infestors are exposed. Oh my god, every Infestor goes down. Lands only 1 fungal. Lings, can they get into the mineral line? He does. He does barely get in. He will get a couple of SCV kills. That's what matters. Ultras are being thrown away. Expensive trades here, and he gets 12. Okay. That's what matters here. That's all that matters. 12 SCV kills. It's better than nothing. Gets 12 SCVs. Again, that is the only mining base for Maru, essentially. But this Ultra switch has been rough. Like, I don't... The Lingbane Hydra was more effective. And there we go. Now we're switching back into Lingbane Hydra. Like we mentioned earlier, that in the previous games, rushing into Ultras was the win condition, but that's only because it was pre-Ghost. Like, once you build up into this many Ghosts, like, the Ultras have not been worth it. Like, they've been a waste of resources, and Shin is broke. Oh, no. Shin, he has no gas. He has no gas. He's been losing momentum for quite some time. Again, like, the Ultras was not the play. Okay, nice move into the main. Nice rotation into the main base. We're picking up some units here in the main. Just catching some of the production. Nothing major. I mean, I say that. This is getting at a hint. Yeah, this is getting at a hint here. Nice thing. Counterattack. Getting on top of the production. Oh my god, we just keep committing. Okay. And the production's going down. Very nice move here by SHIN. At the same time, SHIN did lose his northern bases, but he kills everything in the main base. He does force the mass migration. Raxes are floating. Factories are floating away as well. The Ghosts, they come back to defend. At the same time, here comes SHIN's reinforcements into the most important mining base. Remember, the Ghosts are not here. Remember, the Ghosts are out of position. Lings, they can move in. And SHIN has done it. Whew. It was intense. It was an intense game. Half an hour, by the way. Very intense, but SHIN has done a massive fungal on the Ghost. The fungal will run out. There's no follow-up, but that doesn't matter because the mining is denied. SHIN might not have any gas, but hey, Maru has no mining almost, period. He's down to this one planetary fortress for any kind of mining. The natural base is on fire. Ghost, they will clean up these things. The Ghost will clean up. And now SHIN, his eyes are set on the planetary. His eyes are set. Now is the time to stabilize though. Like SHIN, he just lost 3 bases. He needs to retake them. And this is also why, if you remember, we mentioned this like 20 minutes ago, how important it is for SHIN to have started mining the top right bases as quickly as possible. And he didn't. So like, and now he doesn't have them. No one has them, to be fair. But those were the more natural bases for Maru to work towards. And SHIN, he needs to try to retake and replenish. And I'll be honest, I don't see a world where Maru can take those bases anymore. Just because at this point, it's almost pure Ghost. Like, he doesn't have any kind of buffer for his army. Like, Ghosts are good, but they need some kind of meat shield to make sure that they don't get surrounded and they don't get locked down. Nice scan. Catching the Infestor. Tanks are getting in position. You can see Maru fixating everything here in this center location. SHIN, he ignores it. Nice move. Ooh, does catch long distance riding SCV. Sorry, he does catch the transferring workers. 4 SCVs. Now collapsing on, I think, the planet center, the orbital. Oh, okay. And you can see Maru just give up on that location. He's just giving up on that area of the map, and he's transferring everything over towards the top right. And that's what matters, right? That's the area of the map that matters now for Maru. Is those bases. Wings, they collapse on the production. Things are coming from around. The tanks are exposed. There are no ghosts. Yeah, Ghosts are out of position. And he cleans up every single tank. Whew. Yeah, SHIN, he cleans up the tanks, cleans up the Liberators. The Ghosts, they survive. Again, these Ghosts, there are some of these Ghosts that have been around since the entire game. Like, as soon as they spawned in, like, they've been around for like 20 minutes. The Ghosts have been around for a long time. They persist, they persevere. But as you can see, no mining. Currently, 0 mining for Maru. He needs this expansion. At the same time, Lings, they backstab. Once again, trying to force the Ghost out of position, and they will. GG gets called, and SHIN, he will claim the series 3-2, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. Ay. GG, well played. Again, SHIN, he had momentum from the very beginning. Oh, the crowd, Pappy, let's go. GG, well played. From the beginning, of course, SHIN, if you remember, he was able to get a lead early on. What did he do? Link Flood. Remember, he went for the early Link Flood. He killed so many SCVs. Now, Maru didn't die because he went for a 3rd CC, if you remember. He went for a fast 3rd command center, but he went down to a very low SCV count, and he was stuck at home. Now, if you remember, that was the moment that we mentioned that SHIN had the opportunity to actually play however he wanted and not play roaches. The reasoning and the rationale for that is because SHIN crippled the economy, Maru was stuck at home, which meant that Maru wasn't applying pressure, so he didn't need roaches. Roaches, they can be a very safe way to play. They're very lava efficient style, as they take less lava to build up and to gain any kind of control. Because of SHIN's lead early on, he had the freedom to build up into Lingbane Hydra, a very mobile composition, and with that Lingbane Hydra, he was was able to deny the 4th base. If you remember, he couldn't really apply pressure to the 3rd, but it wasn't until the 4th base was taken, and that's when SHIN, if you remember, he droned up to 80 very quickly. Droned all the way up to 80, built up his link main Hydra, and maintained map control. There were a couple of moments where Maru was able to break out with some drops, but only a handful of moments. For the most part, SHIN had map control. SHIN was denying the 4th base, denying the 5th base, over and over again, rocking back and forth. Again, the big criticism for SHIN is that he did not fixate and prioritize mining and saturating top right. That is the big thing that did kind of make things a little bit scary, is that we had to fight hard for top right, and SHIN was late to saturate those bases. But outside of that, he was still at least denying expansions. He was still making Maru work for trying to max. Maru, he never really maxed out. He never built up his army. SHIN was there time and time again to knock down the 4th or the 5th or the 3rd, or Nida storms into the bases, drop play as well, non-stop aggression, keeping Maru busy back at home. And Maru failed to defend. He failed to defend, but again, he was playing from behind from the beginning, right? So like it was a shaky game from the start for Maru after losing all those SCVs, and with that, SHIN does snowball out of control. Another big weakness for SHIN was his switch into ultras, right? We speak about it all the time when it comes to the previous games. Like, ultras give you a big power spike, but that is pre-ghost. When he was making ultras, there was already a heavy ghost count, so it made no sense to go into ultras, and SHIN was wasting resources, and that gave Maru another opportunity because it was taking better fights against the ultras. Eventually, SHIN went back into Ling main Hydra, which was which was a cheaper army, much more efficient. And with that, GG well played. SHIN will claim the series 3-2, and we're going to the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 7 between Hero and SHIN. There's a lot to discuss regarding that matchup. We'll get there. We will get there. For now, we'll see you guys soon after the break.